Hey everybody, today we're going to unbox, explore, and then do 3 months of evaluation on this Jura S9 coffee machine. Let's get started. Goodbye, old friend. Let's unpack everything now and get right into it. This is the hot water nozzle. There are scenarios for hot water and green tea and whatever that it would direct you to swap out this nozzle with that one for making hot water. They supplied us with a water filter. I'm going to try it out for this video. It comes with an adapter. I hear that it's RFID tagged, so you have to use their filter now. I'm going to snap those two together. I have ZeroWater, so I don't need these filters. I just have to say as an observation, for your person who removes this water container, they've added a handle. Major improvement over the older model. Comes right out without falling. Very nice. A lot of people like me have a pitcher that you actually use to fill this container. You don't remove it. I'm now going to drop the filter into the water container and it twist locks into place. I haven't actually turned it all the way. I haven't owned the unit for 3 months at this point, and the cover does not close all the way as a result. I'll figure it out later. There's an adapter right here that allows you to connect this to your iPhone or Alexa to tell Alexa to have you make coffee if you're into that sort of thing. I can't be bothered with this stuff, but there it is. The bean cover is a dramatic improvement over previous models. Early machines didn't have a seal like this. It was just a thin plastic cover, and the outer cover used to crack and fall off, so this is very nice. A spoon is provided for pre-ground coffee. I've never used pre-ground coffee, so I just collect the spoons with each machine. I got 3 now. 2 decalcification tablets are provided. We'll be using these for demonstration purposes. They could have fit 6 in this packet, but they only provided 2. I have hoses for the milk frother as well as a test for water hardness that's also provided. This also includes various hose connectors that we'll be needing later. They've also provided the milk frother cleaning system. We'll unpack that now. It came with a sample of the cleaning liquid. The liquid is actually being phased out. This is 100 milliliters, and it's very expensive for what it is. And then we have the cleaner, which is just a 2-compartment container with a pickup on the bottom for the cleaning agent or the fresh water. I found the free sample that came with my last machine. It also came with an instruction manual. And the last thing we got with this machine was a thank you card for spending a whole lot of money on a coffee machine. We're going to jump right into the water testing, and I'm using ZeroWater, so we know how this story is going to end, but I'm going to do it anyway. 0 hardness.
Nice.
5 greens. The strip determined the value of 0 hardness. I'm going to pull out that bottom compartment now and notice that this needs to be raised to clear the bottom tray. Not on the older machines, but now on the newer one. And the tray's elongated. Everything's in the center on this one. So the boss will have the honors of firing this up for the first time by pressing the power button here. And after a short time, we take it to a language menu. And what we're going to do is we're going to choose English for this video. So I'm going to select it. Now our water hardness is 0, but I am going to set this down to 3 only so we get a request for cleaning as part of the demonstration in this video. At this point, those settings are saved and it'll switch over to the filter operation. And this will begin with a filter rinse. So we're going to have to add water to our tank. Something I've always done, I put something under each spout for the rinse so it doesn't all pour into the tray. We generally fill our machine in this manner with a pitcher. We don't actually remove that entire tank. As it gets high enough, the water alarm clears. Hitting next, the rinse process begins. This is followed by a system filling step. Even with these catch cups, water makes it into the drip tray as well. The drip tray is emptied and returned, and the filter rinse operation is complete, allowing the machine to heat up for normal use. At this point, the machine itself conducts its regular rinse. And finally, the last request of the machine is to obviously fill the bean container. We've just always used Lavazza espresso beans just for years. I'll quickly point out that I've also purchased this milk container from Jura as part of the purchase of this new machine. Comes with a pickup tube and a hose. So I'll assemble it now just to demonstrate before I wash it. And the pickup tube reaches to just short of the bottom of that jar. So now we'll evaluate and come back in a couple of months. 4 months later, and we're back to talk about the overall functionality of the machine, not to critique the coffee it produces. We already know you've paid top dollar to have the best possible automatic coffee machine money can buy. So I'll post a couple of glamour shots of coffee being made, but I'm not going to bury this movie in the details of coffee critique. And just to post my stats up until now to see what we're working with, a total of 840 preparations, 3 espressos, 313 coffees, 20 latte macchiatos, and 493 cappuccinos, 5 flat whites, 5 milk foam tests, and 1 hot water test that I did for this video. No ground coffees. On this machine, it'll come up with a decalcify warning. We'll recall I set mine to 3, even though it was 0, just so it would come up with this warning. I'll set it for later because I wanted to do it on video. There's also a decalcify message in the top of this menu we see here, reminding us to do so. This main menu has one press service for all the different functions we would generally use. We use coffee and cappuccino. Though if we look on the top right, there's also another function that allows you to rotate through all of them. It's like 7 pages, as we see, so I could just keep scrolling through. This is not actually a function that I've ever used except for testing and demonstration. The warning bar found up top in red takes you immediately to remediation if you click it. So if you click decalcify the machine, there you are in the maintenance menu. You can start whatever you need. I'm not going to do it right now though, so I'm going to hit back and get back out of it. Pressing P in the top left corner will take you into the machine menu. There's 3 pages here, which will go into more settings that we'll get into in just a little bit. And aside from that LCD screen, the only other controls are this milk frother, this bean grinder adjustment knob, which should never be adjusted unless the bean grinder is actually running at the time, or you could break the bean grinder, just something to point out there, and the power button. While I'm back here, I'll point out that if you open this flap, it will detect that it's open. This is where you add the pre-ground coffee as well as the cleaning tablets, maximum of 2 scoops of coffee, and it detects it. It shows it on the screen that you should add coffee now. If I close the flap without adding coffee, I'll get an error that I haven't added enough coffee. Going to kick things off by preparing a cappuccino so we could talk about a couple things because it covers a range of items. So I'm going to add some 2% milk to this container. I'm going to connect the hose to the milk frother now. And as on many of these machines, you'll find that the coffee is going to come out the spout along with the milk froth on the right hand side like this, and regular coffee is going to come out this spout over here in the middle. And I'm using this tiny glass that I would generally never use. I'm using it just for the video so you can see through it. It has a very small bottom. And this is one of the first issues about this machine I want to bring about. It's so tiny at the edge if you're using this side spout, because the glasses that you use fall off the side because the bottom is too small. This will be a recurring issue in this video. But we'll get underway. I need only hit the cappuccino button to get started. And that's it. The milk is not measured in volumes, it's measured in seconds. This is 20 seconds of milk. I'm using 2%. And this is followed by 105 milliliters of coffee. These are the default settings for a cappuccino. And there you go, that's a 1-button cappuccino with the default settings of the machine. Alarms will still come up in the menu to clean the machine. There's also a new one now to clean the milk system. We'll go through all the menu settings because it really doesn't take that long. The main menu divided into 3 subsections. You can see we're on machine settings, 1 of 3, and that has 12 subsections. The first one is auto off, and mine is set for 30 minutes. And this bar here, you could click left or right to change the values or hit save or back. Swipe left for the next one, which is energy saving management. Turning that on or off for energy saving features. Next adds a toggle for the operating instructions into the machine, which we'll see as we use it. Next resets the whole machine to factory default. The next sets up metric or imperial measurement. We use metric measurements on this machine as we see here. The next setting adjusts the brightness of the display. The next setting adjusts the water hardness. Ours is 0, but we had set it for 3 for this demonstration. This is followed by the language setting. We had set ours to English for this demonstration. The next shows the number of the products used. I had just shown that previously in this video a couple of minutes ago. This is followed by the number of maintenance programs conducted. And there's also a demo presentation that can be switched on and off. Finally, there's a screen that displays the software version of this coffee machine. Slide again, it takes us back to 1. We've reached the end of this, so I hit back and slide to the next one, which is maintenance status. This has 6 subsections in it. The first is cleaning the milk system. The second is a general clean. The third is descale. The fourth is rinse. The fifth is lock the display. And the sixth is general maintenance information. I reach the beginning, so I hit the back button. And I slide to the left to hit the third menu section. And this is for the configuration and the creation of the individual products. Selecting cappuccino as an example. You could copy the product, replace that product, change settings for that product. I'll click the settings, the coffee strength, the amount of milk in seconds, the volume, the temperature. This is the most powerful feature of this model. I'm going to get into a scenario right now. Consider this situation. I've got a nice set of macchiato glasses right here. Came in a pack of 4. Fits right under the spout. Now, I could tell you, if I run this, it's going to pour out all over the place. I'm not willing to demonstrate this on video. Very messy. But what I want to do is make a custom one that's going to work perfectly with this glass. Now, yours already got a latte macchiato, and I don't pretend to know more about coffee than they do. So in this scenario, given that all of these are stored in that rotisserie up here in the top right, I'm going to say that I've never used a flat white, which I don't, instead of replacing latte macchiato, which I generally would, except in this video. We'll go to the menu, and then we'll scroll to the right to product settings, and then I'm going to go to latte macchiato, and I'm going to copy the product. It's going to ask me what position I want to put it in, and I'm going to say where flat white is. And it's going to drop it right in. Now we got 2 latte macchiatos, so I hit yes, and there we go. Now I could click on this newly created one for editing, choose product name, now we could distinguish them. Now we'll click on product settings. And it's hard to gauge looking at this small graphic on the left because the top is foam. But my best guess is going to be a reduction of 10% of the volume and milk for my modification. Some quick math brings us down to 94.5 milliliters and 26 seconds, though we'll have to work as close as possible within the parameters of the machine. And that means I could bring the volume down to 95 and the milk down to 26. I won't be making any other changes, so I'm just going to hit save. Just want to quickly rename it because it's in all caps and nothing else on the machine is. So now I'll hit back, and then we'll exit out of this. And we're going to give it a shot. 10% may be too much or not enough, but there's the Teppy Macchiato. 95, 26. Boy, that came close. So it's clear 10% was still too much, but it was definitely better than the first time I tried it. We're going to recalculate for 15%, but let's take a look how this turned out from the side. If I don't disturb it, I could get 4 layers. Recalculated the original numbers for 15% to get 90 and 24 if not 90 and 25. Plug them into the machine. I'll give it one more go. Probably another minute adjustment here or there, but we can see how custom drinks can easily be made using this interface. I should probably move on now to some of the gripes I found with this machine. I'm not trying to be overly nitpicky, but this is a review. The water container is form over function. You cannot look at it and easily tell where the water line is. You would think at least one section on this would have been clear to show you what the water level is. If I tap, you could see that it's right over here, but it's basically impossible to see, which is silly having to open it to check the water. The bottom tray that fills up with water is extremely narrow and extremely long, and if you don't pull it out perfectly level and it tips back just a couple degrees, it's going to spill that water right out of the tray. I'll go to click a cappuccino and I'll get a fill bean container error, and you'll notice that if you open the bean container, it's still about half full, even on a level surface. Just the way they designed it, those beans will stack up like one of those old quarter games and just not fall down. You could push them down and you could add more beans, but you could see half the container is still filled and you could backfill with more beans. It just happens this way. I measured this machine with a level and it's perfectly level, so that's not the issue. Those are just minor annoyances. This is by far the biggest gripe. The side of the tray is just too small. You can't fit a coffee cup on there. You could just barely fit the milk cleaner on there as well. I don't know what they were thinking when they came up with this design, or why they don't have an aftermarket tray that's longer that could accommodate this. I haven't spilled the coffee cup yet, but I have spilled the cleaner. Good maintenance is important to keeping this machine working well. The most common maintenance activity is the removal and cleaning of this tray. This container holds the used coffee grinds. This shelf separates the two levels. The bottom tray holds all the liquid. Everything is simply washed out and reassembled as it was taken apart and put right back into the machine. Cleaning of the milk system used to be accomplished with a liquid. There's a line on the bottom here. You used to pour it into this level. They even supplied that free bottle. They don't use this anymore, but I'm just going to show it. Water would then be poured up to a level as indicated on the top. The waste that's involved with this and the money that it costs to do this warrants its own video, and a link will be posted in the top right corner when it comes out. But they've actually moved to this new granulated crystals for the cleaner, which is arguably more expensive and more wasteful than the liquid was, but that's for another movie. But the process is the same for both of them. Once the mixture is combined, it would then be put under the spout for the milk, and you would run the program by pressing immediate or clean the milk system. And you notice it shows the granules in the picture. And you can see right here, it's showing the new cleaner with the granules in the picture. So hit next, and then the process begins. And if you're using a frother every day for like cappuccinos or multiple times a day, you're doing these cleanings, and you look how many cleanings you get out of one of those containers and how much one of those containers cost, it adds up. We'll be asked at some point to add fresh water, so we'll do that now. And then we'll hit next, and then it'll flush everything out. I've sped this up, of course. It's not that quick. I like to remind everybody this is still no substitute for disconnecting the frother and hose and separately cleaning them every now and again anyway. Decalcification is an important step to ensuring trouble-free operation. We're going to do this now. I've set mine to 3 on the machine earlier to ensure that we could see this happen. I'm removing the drip tray first, measuring out half a liter of water that I will then drop these 3 tablets into. Comes in 3 in each set, as we could see here, right into that 500 milliliters. And they slowly dissolve. Here's 1 dropped in, then I drop in the other 2, and you have to wait a while, several minutes for them to dissolve. Ensuring first that the water tank is completely emptied. That solution will then be poured into the water tank, as shown here. It asks that a container be fitted under both of the spouts, so I do that now. And then hit next to begin the procedure. And this is a long drawn-out procedure. It takes about 40 minutes, so I did not record it. Just some highlights along the way. I quickly emptied this cup when it got too high. At some point, you're asked to empty the drip tray. And fill the water tank with fresh water. And the process continues when you hit next. Finally, you're asked to empty the drip tray one more time, and it's completed. Leaving you with the next reminder if you have to do a general cleaning. The general cleaning is also posted on that top menu for maintenance items to do. We use those small tablets as part of the cleaning process. I have some older ones. 2 of them came with the machine. So I hit clean machine to kick things off. Takes us to the clean menu. It's about 20 minutes. Reminds us to only spend money at Jura. And the first task is to empty the coffee grounds tray. Hit next. The machine cleaning kicks off with some sort of pre-rinse cycle that takes about a minute or so. And then you're prompted to add the tablet into the ground coffee port on the back left side. At this point, remove it from the packaging. Open the door and drop it in. Close the door and now hit next. The process then kicks off. I've edited this for time. Add the secondary glass. It now asks that the coffee grounds tray be emptied again. We can see that the coffee grounds tray is filled with water. That portion of the system's been washed out too. With the tray reinserted, the cleaning is complete. And there are no maintenance messages on the main menu of the coffee machine. And that concludes our review of the Jura S9 automatic coffee machine, including unboxing, setup, operation, customization, gripes, and maintenance. I hope you enjoyed this video, found it informative and entertaining. Do me a favor, hit that like button down below, helps me out a lot when you do, and hit that subscribe button for more videos like this when they come out. When the next video in this series comes out, a link will be posted in the top right corner. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Would you like to reply?